started listening to, I saw Joe Rogan post that he had a podcast with Russel Brand. And I was like, I gotta go listen to that. I fucking love this dude. And so I go and start listening to it. I got like 20 minutes in, and I sent this thing out to everybody. I was like, you've got to listen to this. And so we were just talking about it because she listened to it, and it's just very powerful. The fact this man was a heroin addict.
As a teenager. And then went to Hollywood and like worked with people and did heroin there. Did business with homeless people and then turned his whole life around.
The fact that he's like, what's the most intimate thing that you could do? He had a homeless man living in his house, and he was filming like it was like a documentary, I guess.
Like a TV show.
While this homeless man was living in his house. At one point they took a bath together.
And they were doing drugs together, like he was doing heroin with them, and
it was wild.
He's trying to see how far he could push the limits, like how much is too much for him as a drug user, and it's really interesting to see that he's so open about that because he's like 20 years sober, super intelligent, super in tune to like what's going on with the world and everything. The conversations he was talking about was really, really enlightening.
The fact that everything's just happening right in front of us. Like the government's doing it right in front of our face, but we don't see it. And I thought that part was really powerful. When him and Joe Rogan were talking about that, it was like, yeah, it's the truth. And I didn't realize it until I lived on government assistance. It's truly set up as a disabled person to keep us in poverty, man, because like we've got to still pay. Like I didn't qualify for Medicaid because my disability payment was too much every month. I go back to work full time, get off of government benefits, and now all of a sudden I qualify for disability or for Medicaid. I no longer get disability and I qualify for Medicaid, but when I was on disability I did it, and I'm like, our system is so ass backwards. And it's like, it's truly set up to just keep you in poverty and keep you dependent on it and keep you comfortable. Because for 7 years I was terrified to do anything more than just survive on this small check every single month. And it's like, how many of us are just surviving in this life rather than actually thriving and doing what we're capable of?
Right, and with that kind of limitations, there's no way you can even save up for a cool vacation, because all cool vacations cost more than $2,000. You're not even allowed to have more than $2,000 in most situations. So there was years of my life where I'm like, well, I can't even save up to go to Disneyland, or I can't even save up to travel here because I have to be poor. You know, maybe if I hide some money under my mattress like in the old days, but I mean, who does that? Like, that's not feasible realistically.
It's really wild to me that we accept what is, or what we believe to be is, just because daddy government says it is. It's not. They're holding us down. It's not, this isn't no woo-woo conspiracy theorist bullshit. This is like
proven.
Yeah.
With money. It's all based on money. It's all greed and money.
That's the part. He's like, who's putting the money where, right? Like,
right. How can you trust these news stations or these TV shows?
They say sponsored by Pfizer.
Right, because they're getting paid to act a certain way. They're getting paid to give you a certain type of news station. And me, of all people, let me tell you, a few years ago, I was very, very liberal and I had a lot of faith in the government. I'm like, no, they're going to do what's best. This is the plan. Like, they have our best interest in mind. And like, the more that you peel back all these layers of this really disgusting onion, it's not like that. They don't care. They really don't care. It's really all about money and profit. They don't even care enough to put the right people at the table to have these conversations. You'll never see, well, hopefully soon, but like right now you don't see people in wheelchairs or from the disability community being a part of what's going on. You know, you don't see the poor people having a say in like how they need help or how they want to be supported. You have all these rich white men taking care of everything, and it's just really sad because they're really disconnected and they just do it for the money. once you finally see it. 'Cause it's like been a year-long journey for me, so it's just like really fresh for me. But
I think one of the most interesting things from the podcast was when they talked about how they solved homelessness during the beginning of the pandemic when all the lockdowns happened, and then all of a sudden it was like, all right,
you can go back on the streets now.
Yeah.
And that shows you that they don't care. They really don't care. They have the means, they have these strategies and solutions, they just don't care enough to do something about it.
right.
Because if everyone starts getting better, how can they control them? How can they, control this homeless population if they get this like courage and momentum and hope? I think Andy Frisella talked a lot about it. A lot of the differences is the hope that people have, especially with like the young teenagers and stuff. And I think that you haven't started the book yet, but with the book that we're going to be reading for this book club, Linchpin, it pretty much talks about how schools take away your creativity and they make you just little robots, mindless robots that are very dispensable, that can be replaced really easily, and that's what people want. Because there's two levels of people, the people making money and the people doing the work, and they want to keep it like that.
That's a really good point.
I can't wait for you to read that book. I've been trying not to talk about it because I know you're not there yet, but it's so good.
Not there yet. I'm almost done. I have 5 chapters left. I just think that so often we accept everything for what it is. Like, for example, when we get paralyzed and they give us a wheelchair that's 3-4 inches bigger than what we currently are right now, and we accept that for what it is, and then we get 3 years down the road and we have all these shoulders issues because we're in a chair that's way too big for us. Like, we should be speaking up. If something's not right, we should speak up. If our needs are not met, we should speak up. It doesn't matter if it's to your doctor or to a medical professional. Like, you have to advocate for yourself and speak up and say, hey, this isn't working because of XYZ, and I need this to change because of XYZ. I like it. I hope you guys like it too. Enjoy. Alright. Hi everybody.